I just think go higher and higher as we keep moving forward, because we have people on staff to handle things that we're not paging everybody from work all the time, so that's a good thing. The next page is number of inspections conducted, 192. We do all the inspections other than the nursing homes and the hospital, which the state fire marshal is contracted through CMS to do. However, we do go along with them on those inspections. So the 192 would be all the schools, daycares, jails, flammable liquids, new construction, complaints, hotels, motels we do. So that's in that 192. Firefighter training sessions, there was 71 offered, 45 of those were in-house, in-house offerings, and then the other ones are actual like WIT Fire School at Ames, any other specialty type trainings around the state that we might send people to or offer for them to go. Meetings and programs, that's every meeting we attended through the year, whether it's an EMS meeting, a city council meeting, public safety meeting, committee meeting, disaster meeting, whatever. Classes conducted to business or public, 25, that's CPR, first aid, fire extinguisher training, all the different things we're doing now for the community. And we reached 81 people with those. Fire prevention talks, that takes place in the month of October. We did 27 through the school system, that's preschool through first grade, 272 kids that we spoke to. And then our smoke trailer, our training trailer, we used it with, we also use it for our own training, but we put 65 new firefighters from Nebraska, South Dakota, and Iowa through that trailer. We had one person leave, that was Paul Brewer. He retired, he had given 6 years of service here, plus some years prior in Merrill. And then below is just some things we purchased with fund drive money that we didn't ask out of the city budget. We're very fortunate that the public supports us financially, and we appreciate that, and we can't thank them enough. That helps offset our budget, which helps the whole city budget in whole, because then we don't have to come in and ask for as much money as we normally would, because those folks that donate help offset everything from turnout gear to new equipment that we purchase. So there's a list there of some of the things we purchased with that donated money. The last two pages are picture pages. I always stick some pictures in there. The guys like to look at these when we hand the books out. So the first one's some fires that we had, different things. And then the second page is just some vehicle accidents that it seems like anymore, and Kevin can attest to this, we have at least one accident a day in this community somewhere or out on our highways. So pretty busy year all in all. The merger has gone very well. Calls are getting handled. Things are going really good. Staffing's doing well. Our new rescue ambulance is here. It's being lettered as we speak. It should be hopefully done by the end of this week. And hopefully next week we'll be putting that thing in service if everything plays out right. At which point then maybe the next council meeting we'll bring it over here so you guys can look at it, okay? And if you want to stop by anytime and take a peek at it. But it's looking really good and coming along just great. Other than that, I have to thank the other city departments. A lot of you are in the room here for helping us out when we need it. Fortunately, we didn't have some of the disaster weather that some other communities had, where we've had to implement our disaster plan. So that's been good this year. Streets and Scott and parks and public facilities help with our tornado sirens and testing and all that, and they do a great job. So thanks to all the other city departments. We work close with water and police and all of them. Also thanks to the businesses that let their people leave for emergencies. I can't thank them enough. The people that time and time again let their employees leave to take care of this community. That is why we're as good as we are, because we have the support of a lot of those businesses. And then our families, our spouses, kids, that we miss birthdays, Christmas, you name it, but we get them in. It's just that Christmas might happen on the 27th, not the 25th. So we have to say thank you to those folks for letting us do this. It's a 24-hour day, 365-day-a-year job, and we can't close because of weather. We can't close because of a holiday. So thanks to everybody that supports us and the council for supporting us, and myself as fire chief. It's really appreciated. Thanks. Unless there's any questions, I'll sit out. Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Thanks, Dave.
YMCA. Hello, I am Joyce Firehelm. I'm the Membership and Marketing Director at the Y. Todd was not able to attend this afternoon, but I do have his annual report to share with you. For the indoor pool, we just kind of count how many times, we call them dives into the pool. So how many times somebody gets into the pool, whether it's lap swim, open swim, pool parties, fitness classes, our swim team, or our swim lessons. So for 2021, we had 7,539 dives into the pool, which is up from 2020. We only had 5,309 that year, so it's a good trend that we're on. So we're ramping up back from COVID. For our outdoor pool, we do the same thing, although we don't quite track the swim lessons and the swim team kids. So our attendance is really our lap swimmers and our open swimmers. So for 2021 season, we had 8,946, which is up from 2020. 2020 we had 4,696. We also did open the pool a little bit late. For our 2021 season, we did some much needed repairs to the pool, some concrete work and painting and everything. And with the weather, it just took a little bit longer than expected. And so the pool did open a little bit later. Our total revenues for the outdoor pool last year was just over 73,000. Our expenses we're at 170,000, and that was because of those planned and approved maintenance things that we did to the pool. For the YMCA, we've also seen it increase too from 2020, which is great to see. We take a little snapshot in December at the end of the year of what our memberships were, and we had 499 memberships, which includes a total of 1,213 people, since some of our memberships are for families or couples. So that is a good increase from 2020, where we had 407. So we are seeing an increase in our memberships, which is great to see. We're also seeing an increase in our program participation. We're kind of back to normal with program participation, and even have seen an increase in those programs as well.
Joyce, what is on this last page, what is the column under memberships, Y-PAYG?
That's our pay-as-you-go membership.
Okay.
So we offer two kinds of memberships. We have an annual membership, and for the annual membership, you can either pay in full for the year, or you can do our monthly bank draft. And then we offer what's called our pay-as-you-go membership, and that's just a 1-month membership. You can do however many months you want. It just doesn't have that annual commitment, which a lot of people like because they may travel. We got some snowbirds that travel. We also have people that in the summertime, maybe they walk or run outside, or they bike outside, and so they're not looking for a membership. So they pay a little bit more to have that pay-as-you-go membership and not do the annual commitment, but a lot of people are willing to do that to have that flexibility.
Is the new remodel pretty sufficient?
Yes.
For your needs?
Yep. We are enjoying the new remodel. The cardio room is so much bigger than what we've had before, so that is really nice. We do have some grant funds that we have received, so we are doing some more improvements. Our camp room, we got certified by DHS last year for our camp and after school program, and with that it brought some changes. So we had our one camp room that was part of the remodel, and we were only licensed for 26 kids, but we have a much greater need for camp than that. So our camp spots were filled up before the summer even hit last year. So we are remodeling another room right now that was not part of the major remodel, and we're going to make that another camp room. So that's going to add another 14 spots, which is going to bring us up to 40 spots for day camp. And DHS was just in yesterday too. We're going to use part of our game room for our apple tree camp, which is for our little campers. They're just 4 to 6 years old, and they just come for a half a day. So they're going to use the game room in the mornings in the summer for that camp. So then we'll be at a total license of 56 campers for the summer. So that will be good for us. We also got a grant through Iowa Child Care that we are building a shelter outside so that the campers can go outside and they can, there's gonna be picnic tables out there so they can go out there, they can play games, they can have lunch, they can have snack, and they can be outside but yet be under the shelter and protected from the sun. So we're still making some improvements, but yes, we're like loving the new addition and all the changes that were made to the Y last year.
You have a pretty active pickleball group, don't you?
We do, yes.
I thought you did.
They come in Monday through Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday considers themselves the advanced group. Tuesday, Thursday is the beginners group, but they usually come in about 7:38. There's usually about 12 of them, and they'll play two courts, and they'll kind of rotate in. So yep, we have a good group. We have our enhanced fitness class, which is our class for active older adults. They're up in the gym too. They come in Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We have a pretty good fitness schedule. We've just hired on another fitness instructor. She's going to offer some new classes.
Thank you, Joyce.
All right, thank you.
CVB, last but not least.
Best for last.
Best for last.
All right, so I'm Jessica Brown-Miller, the manager for the Convention and Visitors Bureau. So most of you already know pretty much what I do, but briefly, my office, if you've never been there, is actually just 2 doors down. So I'm the end building with the nice clock, whatnot out there. So most people in Lamar's actually haven't been in there unless you're renting a facility from us. So stop down and see me. I do the marketing and promotions for community events and our city facilities. And I also run the 6 locations that we'll go through here later, do all the bookings and coordinating and whatnot for each of those venues. So first page is basically what promotions we ran last year. So we did run our facility ads the entire year last year just because we're still behind with COVID kind of closing everything down. We're still running short on where we were pre-COVID in 2019. So hopefully we'll continue to see those rising. The 2 big ones that we push are ice cream days and then also our holiday promotions. So you'll see that there's a lot of focus on specifically those 2 since they are pretty big events here for our community. I also do the social media platforms. Are ones that I handle. So the 3 big ones are obviously Facebook. We did start actually our Instagram account in 2019 when we had the sesquicentennial, and then COVID hit, so there wasn't a lot going on. So we really started kind of focusing on that again in 2021 and pushing that. So our followers are still growing. Ice Cream Days was probably the one that we pushed, first in 2021, just to get active again in that on that platform. And we did see quite a bit of traction when we hosted Rag Bri this year. So there was a lot of people that started kind of following us there. Twitter is still a small one. We don't get a lot of traction with that one. We still post because it is one of the big 3. So that one is what it is. In fact, we can see who follows us. So actually, Rob, didn't you just start following us on Instagram?
Yep.
All right, welcome.
Thank you. I'm big on there.
Well, there you go. I'll have to start following you now, I guess. That was just last week. I was like, ooh, the mayor's following us now. Yay!
Did you go next door and get a welcome basket?
Big in the interface.
Yeah. So another piece that we do is the city website. Excuse me. So actually Christy Collins here and I partner on that one. So I kind of do all of I call it the fun stuff that's on there, the graphics and whatnot. She takes care of more of the government side like this. So when you look at it, there's a big difference. Government, not so fun. Community events, way fun. So that's the part that I do. So there's our metrics. We did see an increase again last year, about 10,000 visits to our site. So ideally we'll continue to see that going up. And then I always kind of put just a little fun, and you'll see in that social media one too, what are people looking at when they're on on our platform. So public facilities is consistently number one, and that includes everything from the cities that are the facilities that I take care of to your campgrounds, the golf course itself, any of the city parks that are listed out there as well. A lot of nosy people want to know what the police department is doing too, so a lot of looks at the blotter specifically. So let's see, second page there for you is those facilities that I do the rental coordination through. So you can see we are on the rise again from COVID. We're fairly consistent generally, and then we pretty much crashed once COVID hit. So 2021 we did see pretty good increase in those facility usage. Still working on some of the, like we just changed that catering requirement for the golf course and convention center, so hopefully we'll continue to see those numbers rise. Shelter house is never a problem. If we had 4 of them, we could probably fill them every weekend, or every Saturday anyway. So very popular venue yet. Foster Park, Olson, Scout House, those are fairly small in comparison to usage. But again, hopefully once, with all the upgrades that are happening over at Olson, we'll start to see that utilization go up as well. And then the last piece that is again, we're recovering still from COVID, is the group travel, which is your motor coaches that come to Lamar's. So what we do is I try to set up a full day for them. So if they're coming to stop at the parlor or go to the Browns, then I get a touch point with them, and we try to get them out doing other things in the community. It's the museum, it's the art center, the Veterans Park, things like that. So I do all the coordination with those groups. And I'm the cheerleader on the bus telling you all about how wonderful Lamar's is, and look to your left, here's where so-and-so lives, all that kind of good stuff. So, and again, Rob, he didn't want to do that going forward. So I'm still looking for someone to help with that piece of it. So our biggest year was 2019, and we had, I think it was 41 motor coaches that came that year, so we're still about halfway there. Holiday is really our big one, so I think in 2019 it was like 32 of those 41 came between mid-November to mid-December, so a lot of focus goes on that one because there's quite a few activities to do while they're in here in town. In fact, I was thinking this year, I was like, we might be the Christmas capital of Iowa pretty soon too, with how many activities are going on there. So, any questions on any of that?
Jessica, these Foster Park ones, are those all weddings?
Those are where they're using the carousel.
What are typically the Olson ones?
Those are going to be like Christmas at Hotel Lamar's, Scoop the Loop, Ice Cream Days.
So they're community things?
They're community
private.
things, correct. Mm-hmm. No private.
Okay.
Jessica, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it you or somewhere else in the community that looks after the content of the new archway sign?
That had not one single thing to do with me, unfortunately.
That might change though, Mike.
In fact, I didn't even know what was going on until I started seeing the work being done. So,
Yeah, I don't know if we've completely worked out who controls that, so that's why I say it might change.
Yeah, that's kind of why I asked, and we'll work it out.
okay, good. Thanks.
If you're desperate for a tour guide, I'll step in.
Oh, goody, I'm putting it down.
I'll make up all kinds of stuff.
It's on the record.
This is where Mike Murphy lives.
Well, you gotta memorize 3 Ps.
Okay, we will take a brief break here. Let's do 5 minutes, guys.
You guys have,
You gonna do the council mayor?
Oh, yeah, council mayor. Anybody have anything else that they want to discuss here?
I had a question for Jason.
Sure.
I was unable to attend the Lamar's Area Veteran Foundation meeting last week. Are there any highlights from that? I think you were able to go, yes, Jason?
Yeah, it was a lot of housekeeping, beginning of year housekeeping stuff. And then probably the biggest discussion we had towards the end was, now that that original 10 project list from CVB 2 has essentially come to an end, except for the Plywood Trail, that's still the ongoing one from that list, is at what point do we start to put in motion a CVB, or not CVB, part 3. So what I did afterwards, and I think you were on the list of people I sent it to, was
Yes.
the list that was generated back in 2013, 14, that had 20, 30 some different ideas on it that eventually ended up being the 10. So that list was recirculated, and that'll get reviewed to whether or not those things are still relevant. And at some point, we'll start discussing a new list of projects. But they did want, we did discuss that maybe we need to do a better job of letting organizations or people know that the Betterment Foundation is an ongoing thing. It's not strictly there to deal with a list of predetermined projects. It's open for applications to anybody or organization. If you have a project that you feel is a benefit to the community, they will welcome those applications too. So that was basically it.
One other thing we did discuss, Mike, was the timing of the Plywood Trail donation and when that would kick in, and kind of decided as a group that it would be phase 2 or B?
1B.
1B, there you go.
Yeah.
That makes good sense.
On that, just out of curiosity, on that, Mike, and maybe you or Rob can help me on this. So with CVP 2, there was a target amount of donations that was met, and it is coming in, or has all but basically all but come in, is that correct?
Yeah, there's a good portion expected for this